What's up? In this video, we're going to be talking about all things real root causes. So this is a video that I did for Instagram, but it was too good not to share. So do all the YouTube things, like, subscribe, comment, share it, let me know, give me all your feedback. I will warn you, like, this is not a super sexy conversation. It is not something that's like, oh my gosh, these 3 exercises fixed my pain. But it's actually going to cut to the chase, no bullshit. It's actually going to change your life if you actually listen to what I have to say. So, if you're a high performer, if you're a lifter who's battling aches and pains, then I want you to actually listen to this, take notes, do all the things, and make sure that you have these real root causes checked, assessed, dialed in, because it could literally change your life. Impactful. I want to hear from you and I want to know. So, when we're talking about pain, when we're talking about injuries, first thing I think is important to say is like pain does not mean injury. Pain is just a signal. It is a like warning for your body like, hey, something's not 100% right, okay? However, an injury, which is what we're going to be talking about here, is in my opinion, the definition is when real life or lifting requires more tissue capacity than your body is able to handle. Okay. If we go to the internet and we look at the definition of a physical injury, it is referring to any damage or harm caused to the body. And it can encompass a wide range of conditions: traumatic, chronic, burns, cuts, wounds, internal injuries, all the, all that stuff. But it refers to any damage or harm caused to the body. Okay. So that's important to note because if we are training, if we are doing all the things and we have physical injury, that is completely different than just having pain. Okay. But pain is just a warning signal. Okay. Pain doesn't necessarily mean it's the problem. It is a symptom of something else going on, which is where we get into the root cause. Okay. And I don't want to burst your bubble, but I'm going to because I'm here to tell you the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Okay. But this is why all of the Instagram posts that you've saved to your collection, all the YouTube videos that you've watched, tried, and saved, this is why they don't work. It's because you do these 3 exercises that are guaranteed to fix your freaking shoulder pain, but maybe the shoulder pain isn't even coming from your shoulder. Or, you have these exercises that are guaranteed to fix your back pain in 5 minutes or less, and they don't do jack shit because the problem's not really even coming from your back. Okay. And so I hate these types of posts. Occasionally I post them because, attention, but I hate them if I'm just being 100% honest. Um, One of the things that I want to mention is again, root cause is literally the only way to get out of pain and stay out of pain. An analogy I like to use is it's like if you have a leak in your house and you're just mopping up the water, but you're not actually doing anything to like shut the water off or fix the leak or like fix the pipe that's bursted. You're literally just going to be like mopping the freaking water up. You're going to be spreading the water because you can't keep up with it. And so if you don't actually go turn the water off, if you don't actually fix the pipe, like you're just going to be stuck doing the same shit with no results. Okay, and that's a lot of times what happens with pain and injury when people try to do it on their own. You don't know what's actually going on, you don't know what's actually causing the problem. You just know that you're trying to manage the symptoms instead of actually fixing the root cause. Okay, so everyone who's ever been frustrated or feels like things are taking forever, it's because everybody wants a symptom fixed. They're not chasing the root cause and trying to fix that. So for me, there are a lot of potential root causes. I'm going to list some. This is in no way an exhaustive list. This is literally just scraping the surface. Otherwise, this video would be like 5 hours long. But some of the things that I feel like most people overlook when it comes to the real causes. Overall systemic health, okay? If your health sucks, you're probably not going to have a lot of tolerance for training. Therefore, you're probably going to experience pain, you're going to experience injury, right? We can do all the things to get strong, we can do all the things to rehab, but if your systemic health sucks, it's probably not like you're just going to get injured again. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can for blood pressure, blood sugar, your gut health, all the things, okay? Obviously, there's more aspects to health than just those three things, but I digress. Poor lifestyle habits. So that might be excessive sitting, okay? Desk workers, they have a lot of pain because they don't move for like 10 hours a day. Okay, so getting up, taking breaks, going for a walk at lunch, those things can drastically reduce your pain and just make you feel better. And it's going to help your health, your mental health, all the things. Okay, alcohol. Alcohol is an inflammatory, so inflammation in your body makes things cranky. But if you have pain or injury already and you drink alcohol, it's going to make things worse. Okay, so just stay away from the alcohol. I had a client who called them inflammatories, and I'd be like, "How was the weekend?" And he'd be like, "Well, I had a few inflammatories, and now my shoulder hurts." Well, I told you not to do it, but okay, there you are. If we see someone trying to cut weight and their calories are low, or they're not getting enough protein in, or they do the bro diet where, if it fits your macros and I'm gonna eat a Pop Tart before the freaking gym, like that shit, it just is not good quality nutrition, okay? There's a balance in there. Just stop eating like a child and you're probably gonna feel better. High stress. There are studies, there are like research articles that you can go find that show back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, whatever. Those pains can be linked to poor mental health, to high stress levels. And so we want to make sure we're doing everything we can to help reduce the stress. Something I have my clients do, especially if there's someone who does have higher stress, we do vagus nerve work, which I know is probably a little woo-woo and out there for some of you, but if we don't get the stress down, we're just continuing to dump more inflammation into a system that's already cranky. So we want to make sure we're trying to treat multiple things and like fix the underlying root cause issues. That's kind of what we do around here. And then lack of sleep is another one that I feel like most people overlook. The hustle culture, the grind, the high performers, they often think, well, I'll just lose a couple hours of sleep. It's no big deal. My goals are important. Your goals can be important, and you can also get 8 hours of sleep. That's that's all I got to say about that. Make sure you're sleeping because that's when your body recovers. It literally affects your health if you are not sleeping. It helps your muscles literally recover from a workout, from injury, from whatever. So make sure you're getting your sleep. The other things that more people think of is form, training through fatigue, constantly redlining your training. If you have a shit workload to recovery ratio, okay, so if you're doing more than you can actually recover from, like you're just setting yourself up for pain and injury. So we want to make sure that those are balanced so that we can, fix the real root issue, the real root cause. We can actually fix the broken, busted pipe instead of just mopping up the water in the floor. Okay. If you're chronically under or overloading issues, I had a question about this on the Instagram live, but basically, um, if you're super tight, if you can't get into proper position, if your form is a little out of whack, you can be under and overloading things in one movement. Okay, so the example I gave was like someone with a deadlift. If you can't get your hips into position and you're constantly just lifting with your low back is being overloaded because your hips are being underloaded. Okay, your glutes are being underloaded, therefore, the back has to take more of the force, the weight, all that stuff, which I kind of already talked about it, but mobility issues, right? That can be a problem. That can lead to the over underloading issues, but it can also lead to just improper joint mechanics, right? Our joints want to move the way that they were designed to move. And if we're having mobility issues, kind of goes back to the over underloading, but if things are not moving the way that we want to or optimally, they're probably going to get a little pissed off. Okay. Movement compensations, poor load management, asymmetries. All these things are what most people think of. It's not necessarily just I lifted bad one time. It could be a whole collection of these things. And so, very rarely is there actually one root cause. We just want to see what we can do through talking, through assessments, and see what's actually going on, because a lot of times the problem isn't coming from where the pain is. That is just a symptom, it is just a signal. But the root cause is usually above or below that area, especially in lifting, because lifting is such a dynamic thing that if your ankles don't move very well, that can automatically put more stress on your back in the bottom of a squat because you're having to round, you're having to compensate for the lack of ankle mobility. And so we really want to zoom out so we can zoom in. That is super crucial when it comes to training, when it comes to injuries, when it comes to pain. We want to make sure that we're doing all the things to find the root causes and not just go where the symptoms are. So, let me know if that was helpful, if that makes sense. I know that this is not a sexy conversation because most people want the top 3 exercises that don't actually do jack shit for you, but that's what sells, right? That's what the marketing is there for. It is some kind of quick get out of pain as quickly as possible. Here's your red pill to fix all of your problems. Like, it just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And if you're on my channel and you're still watching, then I know that you are someone who also understands that and values consistent training, consistent work, and that's what you realize is truly the key to unlocking everything that you want. So, again, comments, questions, concerns, snide remarks, whatever, drop them below. Shoot me a message on Instagram. I'll see you on the next one.